Greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt here in beautiful Southern Oregon. We're going to do something just a little bit different. We're going to do a little walk and talk instead of being in on the tripod just sitting around. So, what did D&D get right and get wrong for 5th edition? Let's go with the Sorcerer. So, the Sorcerer is relatively new as player character classes go. It's kind of like a wizard, but not really. Now the wizard, old standby, been around since D&D started. The wizard gets pretty much every spell in the book if he wants to. He uses the power of his intellect and his studies to learn as many spells as possible. Whereas a sorcerer gets a much shorter spell list, fewer choices, fewer spells. A sorcerer at the same level is going to know fewer spells than a wizard at the same level. So why would you want to pick a sorcerer? Well, the sorcerer gets his power from just his bloodline and his sense of will. So he's a charisma-based caster. And the upside of playing a sorcerer is that you can do more with the same spells. You get meta magic, which are sorcery points, and you can spend one of those sorcery points to modify one of your spells when you need to. So let's take, Fireball. Awesome. Everybody gets Fireball. A wizard can cast Fireball. He does 8d6 damage, casting it using a 3rd level slot. He can do 9d6 damage if he uses a 4th level slot. And if he's an invoker, he can choose to exclude his friends from the damage. And that's it. A sorcerer casting Fireball. Yeah, well, let's see what kind of things he can do with it. You spend a sorcery point. He can either pick one of the following. He can choose to not have his friends get hit by it by selectively not harming them with careful casting. He could do subtle casting as his other option, so no verbal or somatic components needed. It just goes off and nobody knows who cast it. Could be useful. Or empowered casting, where you re-roll a handful of damage dice for when you really want it to hit hard. A couple options like that. So your sorcerer, most of his spells are going to be damage-causing spells, and most of his meta magic options are about affecting the damage of your spells. This means that the sorcerer is better suited for a blasting role, where it's just all about delivering magical ranged damage. If you want a caster that does that, sorcerer is a good pick for you. And I guess the other thing is that because the spells come from the sorcerer themselves, they don't have to worry about any shenanigans from, oh, well, you fell in the river and your spellbook got ruined. Someone stole your spellbook. You got caught in a fireball and your spellbook got ruined. Yeah, a couple cows playing. So, the sorcerer is a fun class to play. If you don't mind the fact that you're not going to get some of those situationally useful things like knock or silence or whatever for accomplishing missions, and all you do is mostly blast, depending on your spell choices. But I like sorcerer. I think it's a good pick. I think it's a good class. And as someone coming from 2nd edition into 5th, that's a class I actually am glad that they added, which I don't feel that way about all the classes. Anyway, that's just my opinion. DM Kurt, out.